You never really know who you're messing with, until it's too late. Picture this, a group of loud, intimidating bikers revving their engines, their leather jackets gleaming under the sun, surrounding what seems like an ordinary college student. They think they've found an easy target, just another kid with a backpack, minding his own business. But what they don't know is that this ordinary student is anything but. He's a Marine with years of combat training and a black belt in karate. And today, they picked the wrong guy. Before we dive into this jaw-dropping story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more real-life stories that'll leave you speechless, and you won't want to miss any of them. Plus, it helps us bring more content like this straight to you. Now, let's rewind to how it all started. It was an ordinary afternoon on a college campus parking lot. Students were coming and going, some chatting in groups, others lost in their own world with headphones on. The air was filled with the usual buzz of college life, laughter, footsteps, the occasional honk from a distant car. Among them was Jason, a quiet, focused student who blended into the crowd with his worn-out backpack and simple denim jacket. But Jason wasn't just any student. Beneath that calm exterior was a Marine veteran who had served in high-intensity combat zones. His discipline and strength were honed through years of rigorous military training, both mentally and physically. On top of that, he was a black belt in karate, a fact no one could guess just by looking at him. Jason had just finished a long day of classes, his mind occupied with assignments and deadlines. As he walked to his car parked at the far end of the lot, he noticed a commotion near the entrance. A group of bikers had gathered, big, loud, and impossible to ignore. Their motorcycles were lined up like an intimidating wall of chrome and steel. They weren't just hanging out, they were looking for trouble. The leader of the group, a towering man known as Tank, was impossible to miss. He had muscles like boulders, tattoos covering his arms, and an attitude as aggressive as his appearance. His crew wasn't much different, leather jackets, loud voices, and the kind of swagger that screamed trouble. They were harassing students, blocking pathways, and laughing at their own crude jokes. Most people avoided them, pretending not to notice, hoping to escape their attention. But Jason's car was parked right next to where the bikers had gathered. As Jason approached, Tank stepped forward, his massive frame casting a shadow over Jason. "Hey, college boy," Tank sneered, blocking Jason's path. "You in a hurry, or are you gonna show some respect?" Jason remained calm, his face expressionless. "Excuse me, I just need to get to my car," he replied politely, his voice steady but firm. He wasn't afraid, he simply didn't see the point in escalating things unnecessarily. But Tank wasn't the type to back down. The other bikers circled around, laughing and egging him on. They thrived on intimidation, and Jason seemed like the perfect target, young, alone, and outnumbered. "What's the rush?" Scared of a little conversation, another biker jeered, stepping closer and shoving Jason's shoulder lightly, as if daring him to react. Jason took a small step back, not out of fear, but to assess the situation. His Marine instincts kicked in. He quickly scanned their body language, noting who seemed the most aggressive, who was likely to make the first move. His training had taught him to read people like an open book, the twitch of a hand, the shift of weight on someone's feet, all signs of what might happen next. He wasn't looking for a fight, but he was more than ready if it came to that. Tank, feeling emboldened by the crowd, stepped even closer, getting right in Jason's face. His breath reeked of stale beer and cheap cigarettes. "What are you gonna do, tough guy? Cry for your mommy?" Jason didn't flinch. His eyes stayed locked, calm and unblinking. That's when Tank made his mistake. He reached out, shoving Jason with both hands, expecting him to stumble back like any other college kid would. But Jason wasn't like any other college kid. In a split second, Jason reacted. His movements were fast, almost too fast for the eye to follow. With precise, controlled motions, he sidestepped, grabbed Tank's extended arm, and twisted it effortlessly, using Tank's own momentum against him. The massive biker crashed to the ground with a heavy thud that echoed through the parking lot, leaving the crowd in stunned silence. For a brief moment, time seemed to freeze. The bikers stared, their smug expressions replaced with shock. They hadn't expected this. Their leader, Tank, the guy no one dared to challenge, was on the ground, groaning in pain, clutching his arm. Jason didn't stop there. Another biker lunged at him, fueled by rage and disbelief. But Jason was already in motion. He delivered a swift, flawless roundhouse kick straight to the biker's chest, sending him sprawling backward, gasping for air. His movements were fluid, efficient, every strike calculated, every motion controlled. This wasn't street fighting, this was disciplined combat, the kind you only learn through years of rigorous training. A third biker charged, swinging wildly. Jason ducked, pivoted, and delivered a powerful elbow strike to the man's ribs, followed by a sweep that knocked him flat on his back. It was over in less than a minute. What started as an attempt to intimidate had turned into a scene none of them would forget. Jason stood there, composed, breathing steadily, as if it was just another training exercise. He didn't gloat. He didn't shout. He simply stood his ground with quiet confidence. One of the bikers, still dazed and struggling to get up, muttered, What are you?" Jason finally broke his silence, his voice calm and steady. "Just a college student," he said, walking to his car as if nothing had happened. Word of the incident spread quickly around campus. Some students had caught glimpses of the fight, their phones capturing shaky videos that went viral within hours. The bikers? They never came back. They'd learned a hard lesson that day: never judge someone by their appearance, and never, ever underestimate a person's strength just because they don't show it. But this story isn't just about Jason's skills. It's about something much deeper. True strength doesn't need to be loud or flashy. It's in the discipline, the control, the ability to defend without aggression. Jason didn't fight because he wanted to, he fought because he had to. His confidence wasn't born from arrogance but from years of preparation, knowing exactly what he was capable of without needing to prove it to anyone. And here's the takeaway: respect is not about fear, it's about understanding that everyone you meet has a story you don't know, experiences you haven't seen, and strengths you can't imagine. The world is full of people like Jason, quiet, unassuming, but capable of extraordinary things when pushed to the limit. So next time you think someone looks ordinary, remember this story. Because sometimes, the most unassuming person in the room is the one you should never underestimate. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a situation where someone's true strength surprised everyone? Share your story, we'd love to hear it.